And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome to the show. We got a jam-packed lineup for you here today. Jason Mears, Florida Best Quote Insurance on the program. We're going to hit you up with the latest real estate stats as well, fresh off the press. Brand new numbers from the Greater Tampa Realtor and the Pinellas Realtor Organization with the real estate stats. Also, Lawrence Young, Chief Economist for NAR, weighing in on the real estate market. Also, another clip I'm going to play about tariffs, what's going on with Toyota and Vietnam and some of these other countries and how they're playing ball with the Trump administration. I think that's interesting, and we'll see how that plays out with our economy, of course, as well. So a lot of good stuff here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal, to make you more informed as a consumer, make you more street smart, and help you win in your real estate deals. Now, our highest honor is to take a listing. When we list your real estate properties, vacant land, residential, commercial properties, our goal is to do such a great job that you're going to feel comfortable leaving us 5-star reviews and referring your friends and family and anybody that you know of that is looking to buy, sell, or invest. And we always feature our listings live on air and provide maximum exposure for our sellers to help you sell faster for more money with less headaches. A couple of hot listings here. We like to feature our listings on air. 221 Howard Drive. This is a beautiful property, waterfront on Bel Air Beach, just reduced as well. Owner motivated, $2.95 million asking price here. Beautiful waterfront property, 100 feet of water frontage, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square foot single family home. You have a gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool. Bring your boats and jet skis. Enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest, and enjoy the Gulf of America and the dolphin-filled waters, sugar sand beaches of beautiful Pinellas County. 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, Wimauma, Florida. Another new listing for us. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, smart home. 1844 square feet, split floor plan. And one of the best things about this community, it's gated, of course, it's very safe, but you also have the lagoon there, resort style crystal lagoon, a shimmering multi-acre aquatic paradise. Jason, I don't know about you, I didn't have a big lagoon like that when I was growing up.
No, I just had about a 2-acre fishing pond in the backyard. That was good.
Yeah,
but, we didn't go swimming in that thing.
Yeah. Well, that's
rubbing feet with the catfish that were about 3 or 4 feet long.
Yeah, you never know. Little gator, little water moccasin here and there down south. That's where I'm from. But you're out in Louisiana, where you're from, right?
Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah, where Bobby Boucher makes that good water.
No, I'm from West Monroe, Duck Dynasty.
Okay, Duck Dynasty.
So,
there you go.
They're coming back on the air too.
Nice. Okay.
Shameless plug.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, good stuff there. So a couple of hot listings there. Now you can see all of our real estate listings. And if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or possibly refinance, got my mortgage loan origination license now. We can help you. Bruce Woodburn, also our mortgage loan originator as well. We got lots of options for you. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Also, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can submit an email form at consumerqb.com. Always helping you win in any marketplace, making you more street smart. Now, Dave, we got an event. This is the last day we plug it. Thursday, April 24th.
Last day we're going to be able to plug it, and sure thing. This is going to be the 5-chamber mega mixer this time around. It's going to be 5 Chamber of Commerces in the northern Pinellas County area, along with all the regular show guests and hosts. And this is going to be at the Thresher Stadium at Thursday, April 24th, 5:30 to 9 p.m. All the appetizers and drinks are going to be made available by the Platinum MVP team. This one does have a small little $35 registration on it, but again, it's get the full ball game ahead of it, and there's going to be tons of networking that get done and answer any questions you may have.
Probably between 200 and 300 people, I would say easy, right?
Easy, yeah, definitely.
In that range. 5 Chamber of Commerces, you figure. if they bring 50 a piece, that's $250.
Yeah, the last time they actually had something like that, it was well over 200.
Yeah.
Let alone the guests from the radio show and everything else is going to be there. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be
exactly.
a great time.
So you're invited, our audience. We always invite our audience to our third Thursday event. This one's, I don't think it's the third Thursday, but that's what we try to stick to is the third Thursday. So working on a deal with Crown and Bull, awesome restaurant in Dunedin for next month. We're going to have our party there. All right. Hey, without further ado, let's bring Jason Mears into the conversation. Jason,
Amen.
you're our go-to for all things insurance-related, property casualty. You do auto and other types of insurance as well.
I do, yeah. I've been an insurance agent for about 12 years. I'm now the Director of Business Development for our agency, Florida Best Quote. And my main job is to try to educate realtors, consumers, lenders, title companies on things that are going on in the insurance industry to try to simplify and help the closing process.
Yeah.
We were built around the real estate transaction, and we focus a lot on that. But we write with every kind of insurance there is with the exception, we refer out health insurance, but we still do Medicare, life insurance, along with personal, business, commercial, all of that.
Nice. All right. Well, let's develop some business for Jason Mears, our local go-to expert contributor. Work with the local economy here. That's what makes our show different. Is we're local. We're not a national syndication. We're here based locally, and so you can help out the good guys here locally by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hotline 813-917-1894. Call or text the show hotline 813-917-1894. Jason, today's topic I think is very interesting. It's helping prepare properties for sale, and also misnomers. What are the lenders looking for? What do you have to have in line when it comes to your properties to get a proper insurance policy?
Yeah. This is one of those topics that, I kind of, I talk to realtors about, when you have that listing appointment, what do you need to be looking for on that house? And then when people are trying to prep their house to sell, it's relevant for that. And then maybe just some things you don't think about with your house that you need to go take a look at that could be insurance issues right now. One of those things would be, of course, the age of the roof is always going to be an issue, the age and condition of the roof. 15 years for shingle has kind of been that number for quite a while. But one thing related to the roof a lot of people don't talk about, which is an insurance issue, especially if you're trying to prep your house to sell it, would be if you've got tree limbs touching your house or if you have shrubbery touching the outside walls of your home. A lot of people don't think about either one of those things, but those are considered, just the shrubbery touching your house is considered a highway for bugs, right? And then if you've got tree limbs, we've got a lot of palm trees here in Florida, and they have overhanging branches. And so you'll have some palm tree branches that are touching the roof, and that can cause damage. It's also a highway for bugs and critters. So those are things that you need to cut back anyway. Cut back the shrubs, cut back the tree limbs. Yes. You need to do it anyway, but do it, especially if you're getting ready to prep your home, because your realtor is going to come in and tell you to do it.
Yeah.
So
and what about the roof? How many years are we looking for on most policies?
Well, the guidelines got really strict a few years ago. And, yeah, you're smiling at me over there, yeah. The guidelines got really strict a few years ago. There was a lot of some good legislation passed in 2022, and we knew that it was going to take a couple of years at least for it to start really seeing the benefit of that. And we're seeing that now. So people are, a lot of the companies, we write with 67 insurance companies right now. A lot of them are loosening some of those guidelines. The rule of thumb is still 15 for shingles.
Okay.
If it hits 15, you're really limiting yourself to very, very few options. Tile, if you've got 30, 35, 40, there's still options up there. 25 is where a lot of people fall on that. And then metal, a lot of companies are at 30 for metal, but then there's some that'll go much higher than that if it's in good condition. So that's the general rule of thumb for ages of roof.
Okay. Yep, roof ages, and then you also think about the hot water heater.
Yeah, that is something that a lot of people don't think about at all. But if you're the standard useful life of those units, depending on who you talk to, 10 to 12, 12 to 15 years. So once you hit 15, not only on a shingle roof, but once you hit 15 on a water heater, there are very, very few options. It's becoming a hazard in your home. And people will say, you'll have a seller say, well, look, it looks brand new. Well, it's not the outside that's the issue. It's potentially the inside. And so you don't know what the condition of it is on the inside. So once it hits 15 years, you need to replace your water heater. Most of the time, the unit will tell you the age. It'll have the manufacturing date listed on there. A lot of the units do not. It's embedded in the serial number, and I'll throw a quick website out there. You can go to building-center.org and look up your model, the model of your unit, and it'll tell you where in the serial number to look for the number or look for the age. It is not necessarily the first two numbers. It can sometimes be a code with a letter in the serial number, or it can be the third and fourth numbers. So building-center.org is a great website. I would recommend you go there if you're not sure how old your water heater is. If it's 15, you need to replace it. There are some companies that'll give a little leeway, go up to 20 if it's in the garage, which makes sense. If it floods your garage out in the street, it's not, causing tens of thousands of damage potentially to your home. So
yeah, Jason Mears here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, our insurance expert contributor. And speaking of the hot water heater, our water quality expert, Fred DeFelice, longtime friend of the show, he recommends a yearly flush on those. I think it's about a yearly flush. Most people don't do that. They don't flush it, and it gets a lot of the sediment in the bottom out. So you're supposed to flush those things. Most people don't do that as a maintenance.
Yeah, they don't think about it, and then they wonder, it blows up, or not literally, but you know what I mean, like at 10 years or 11 years. And a lot of times it's just because, and it catches you by surprise. You don't know that the unit is bad. So all those maintenance things, just like you would do for your car, getting an oil change, things that potentially can cause damage to your home, you want to keep the upkeep and make sure you're checking on those things. And I know that's part of what we're talking about today. So
yeah, absolutely. Here's a real estate update as well from Lawrence Young, chief economist at NAR. Home sales have been sluggish, but the potential housing demand as measured by job additions have been growing solidly. Over 7 million net new payroll job gains from pre-COVID highs to March of 2025. That's a big number, 7 million net new payroll jobs from pre-COVID highs of March of 25. Once mortgage rates fall and affordability improves, the unleashing of housing demand should be expected. And I believe that's going to happen. You're going to see rates fall at some point. Of course, we can talk about tariffs. We can go into that. But ultimately, I think we're moving in the right direction. It might be a little bit of pain, but then you're going to get to a point where all these new trade deals are going to be done. And we're going to have gangbuster economy just like we did last time. Some states are better positioned due to faster job creations in their local economy. And Florida certainly is one of the best. We have a lot of people moving here. By the way, that we've been throwing this little stat out there. Top countries that where do top countries of origin and foreign buyers, where do they want to buy? Where are we? In other words, what country are people buying in Florida? Where are they from? Where are the buyers from? Can you take a guess here? We've been using this one.
You want me to throw a guess?
We've been recycling here. Yeah.
China?
China? No.
Really?
They're not in the top 5. But our neighbors to the north.
Canada?
Canada's there.
That makes sense.
17% buying in Florida. Argentina, 10%. Colombia, Brazil, and then United Kingdom, Venezuela, France.
I would not have gotten that
rounds
right
out
at all.
And that's out of Florida Realtor Magazine.
Wouldn't have gotten France either.
Yeah,
No.
France. Yeah, so some states are positioned better due to their local economy. So that kind of proves the point. Foreign investors are buying in Florida. People really like the state of Florida. And then some have added net 10% of new jobs. So anyways, 1 year job gains, March 25 to 25, shows recent momentum. And then it breaks down into certain states, which are moving a little bit faster. But that's from Lawrence Young. He's the chief economist at NAR. Now, let's look local here, Jason. Let's look at Hillsborough County. So we have the latest stats here. We promised our audience the latest real estate stats from the local realtor board. And you have 6,450 properties active as of March 2025. And out of those 6,450, 1,726 sold. So that gives us a 26.8% absorption rate and a 3.7 months supply of inventory. So that's still on the seller's side, right? Inventory is still somewhat low in Hillsborough County. Mm-hmm. Interesting, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm wondering when I would really be wondering where the condo market fits in there, because
that's
I know
different.
Yeah.
That's different data. Yep.
Yeah. Because I know that it is a seller's market, and everybody's, when's it going to become a buyer's market again? And we talk about mortgage rates and things like that. But if you are considering selling your home, it's not a bad time to do it.
Yeah, and it's a balanced market in Pinellas County, for example. So if you look at the same numbers in Pinellas, we've got 8,200 actives, 1,600 sold. That's a 19.5% absorption. And if you divide that out, it's 5.1 month supply of inventory. So that's the early stages of what we call a balanced market, meaning that buyers and sellers, neither one has a really distinct advantage in terms of inventory or numbers of buyers. So it's a level playing field. And I always say it's up to you to pick the right realtor and the right team, mortgage team and insurance team. And that's what we'd like to help you do. I'm Brandon BRimes, Keller Williams Realty, and he's Jason Mears, Florida Best Quote Insurance, and he's online at floridabestquote.com, and you can find all of his information, floridabestquote.com, also on Facebook, Instagram as well. And we got to take a quick break. More with Jason on the flip side when we come back as well. Coming up here on the program, got a clip I'm going to play about tariffs also, because we're seeing deals made with South Korea, Vietnam, India, EU, UK, lots of deals being made. So we're going to talk a little bit about international, global trade and bringing it back local with you as well with Jason Mears, Florida Best Quote Insurance. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rhymes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rhymes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894, BRimes at kw.com, and that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894, BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, Jason Mears in studio with us. Florida Best Quote Insurance, helping you win in your insurance game. We're going to help you win on the real estate side, buying, selling, investing. 4798 Indigo Road, Groveland. We got 42 acres of land for sale in Groveland, Florida. This is a really cool area because it's between Tampa and Orlando. 42 acres of investment opportunity positioned in Groveland. So it's a great opportunity. There's also a 2-2 home there that's set up currently for kind of a weekend retreat. Nice little place to have a kind of a ranch party out there. 4798 Indigo Road, Groveland, Florida. Potential development opportunity. Great opportunity for you there in Groveland, Florida. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road. We've got a hardware store for sale, 5,725 square feet. Commercial property, 1 acre of land. It's a thriving hardware store, lucrative income streams because you have multiple parcels rented out as well. Great opportunity. Seller financing is available with a down payment, strong down payment. And again, you have multiple income generating opportunities. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings, commercial listing from the Platinum MVP team. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout out to Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Residential, commercial cleaning, leesroyalservices.com. And on the exterior, Heights Soft Wash. Pressure washing company, heightssoftwash.com. His name is Ramin. He's the owner, and he does a great job. heightssoftwash.com. All right, Jason Mears, let's get back to this. Well, before we do, I want to touch this clip before I forget. International trade, such a big topic right now, and this is really interesting. Quick clip on what's happening with some of the deals being made from some of our foreign allies.
Toyota is considering shifting RAV4 production to the U.S. to mitigate tariff impacts. Likewise, Trump reported a great call with South Korea, focusing on steel and automobiles. Vietnam has also offered to remove all tariffs on U.S. goods, and discussions with India are also in progress, with India angling for a bilateral trade agreement to boost trade to $500 billion by 2030. The EU has paused retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. and is advocating for a zero-tariff agreement. As for the UK, talks with Prime Minister Keir Starmer are ongoing, and Vice President J.D. Vance has expressed optimism that any deal they reach will be mutually beneficial.
So I think a lot of these deals are being flushed out. They're coming to the table, and that was part of the whole plan with the tariffs and then a 90-day pause. It's like, okay, come to the table now. You know, what a key strategy, what a negotiation that he had there with all these countries. And now they're coming to the table, putting their best foot forward, saying, hey, we better do a deal before it's too late. We don't want to get on their bad side. We see what happens there. All right, let's go back to Jason with his tips. Jason Mears, Florida Best Quote Insurance. Let's talk about some of these other tips you had, Jason.
Yeah, I would say maybe the most important one I can give you today that you probably don't think about, but I would really recommend everyone, if you've got a house built in 70s or 80s or maybe even earlier than that, go check what electrical panel brand you have. A lot of people, if it's a Challenger panel, that's an obsolete panel. You're going to try to get insurance. You're going to have a really hard time, or when you try to sell the house, the buyer's going to have a really hard time replacing it.
Challenges with the Challenger.
Challenges
That's how
with
you
the
can remember that one.
So it's considered an obsolete panel, but the three big ones, Zinsco, Sylvania, and Federal Pacific, are all considered fire hazards. And so we run into situations, and you might have as well, or you will, that there's a lot of people that, you know, you'll go on a realtor will go on a listing appointment and they'll say, hey, we're trying to, you know, that electrical panel is a Zinsco, that's a fire hazard. And they'll say, well, I've got insurance. And what a lot of people don't realize is when they got their policy, back in the day, a lot of these companies did not require a 4-point inspection unless the house was 40 years or older. So you might have had a 30, 35-year-old house, and for whatever reason, it was not disclosed that you had a Zinsco electrical panel. The insurance company might have never gotten the 4-point because it wasn't required. And so on your application, it'll say, does my house have a Zinsco panel? So the scary
they're that
thing,
bad, huh?
Yeah, it's a fire hazard. The scary thing about that is that, you know, I'm not going to tell you that an insurance company's not going to cover your claim if that panel burns your house down, but you're giving them an out, right? Because their paperwork says, you know, they don't accept Zinsco, just using them as an example, but you have one and your insurance company doesn't know it. So I would go check.
Yeah, and if you're a real estate agent, think about how good that makes you look. If you're pointing that out to the client, hey, look, here at Keller Williams Realty, we like to bulletproof our deals. Here's a potential issue I see. Let's get it taken care of now. Maybe a handyman can come in and do it versus the buyer finding it. And then what happens, Jay?
Well, then you've got to negotiate it under contract. This is one of my big things now is you've got to try to, you know, when you go on a listing appointment as a realtor, you're trying to get these things done before you list the property so that you don't end up having a deal fall apart under contract because, the 4-point says that there's a problem and we didn't know that. So getting a pre-listing inspection, that sort of thing. Also with the Zinsco electrical panels, you're looking for red, blue, and green breakers. So sometimes the panels are so old, maybe the writing is rubbed off or it's just gotten the paper that Zinsco was listed on is rubbed off. So just look for red, blue, and green breakers. If you have red, blue, and green breakers, it's a Zinsco panel. It's a fire hazard, and you need to get it replaced. So the electrical panel's a big one.
Where can they connect with you, buddy?
Connect with me on social media. You can go to Florida Insurance Tips on Instagram and TikTok. You can also give me a call at 813-385-4441, or you can email me at jason@floridabestquote.com.
Jason@floridabestquote.com. Jason Mears, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Right. Good stuff. All right, coming up, Logan Briggs, Gulf Shield Roofing on the program. Later on, we're going to talk with Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. Gold hitting an all-time high again. We're going to talk with him coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channels. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, Logan Briggs is coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're going to talk with Logan. Gulf Shield Roofing coming up next here on the program. Before we do, a couple of hot listings. You like to feature our real estate properties on air and help our sellers sell faster for more money. 1714 2nd Avenue East. This one's in Bradenton, Florida. We got a renovated property, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, plus a bonus room. Almost 1,100 square foot single family home. You got a 0.34 acre lot, lush landscaping, expansive backyard, new laminate flooring, remodeled kitchen and bathroom. And you also have a great opportunity. You're close to Manatee River and the scenic river walk there in Bradenton, Florida. Great opportunity to buy real estate. Anna Maria Island, just 11 miles away. One of the top vacation destinations in the country. 4233 Oakfield Avenue in Holiday, Florida. This one is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage, 1,121 square foot single family home. And you have fully remodeled property here. This one's remodeled last year, and you have a lot of recent updates, recent improvements to the property. And you're close to local nearby beaches, parks, waterfront attractions, and just minutes from the Gulf of America, the Anclote River Park, Fred Howard Park, and close to the International Plaza as well, International Airport. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage, 4233 Oakfield Avenue in Holiday, Florida. Beautiful properties. You can see all of our 50 listings, right around 50 current listings from the Platinum MVP team, all on our website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Logan Briggs back on the program. Gulf Shield Roofing. He's the owner, and he gets it done, y'all. Logan, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be back.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I know you've been busy out there. What's happening? What you up to?
So we're getting busier, and it's getting hotter out there on the roofs, but my guys are staying strong, and we're building a lot of roofs, and definitely things are looking bright.
That's awesome, man. Any consumer tips, any changes that we need to know about? What any dealings with insurance companies? What are you seeing out there?
You know, it's the insurance companies are the insurance companies, right? They're always going to be the way they are. They're just stubborn, but we're here to help all of our homeowners through those situations. But I mean, one of the things that we're seeing right now is we're seeing a lot of price increases from the manufacturers. You know, whether, that's tariff concerns or fears or whatnot. But we're seeing the market, everybody just had to take a pretty large, substantial shingle increase. And, if you talk to a lot of folks that have been in the industry, like a lot of mentors of mine that have been around for 20 to 30 years in our Florida market, it's the largest increase they've ever seen on shingles at one time.
Wow.
And then, so we're seeing a lot of that. Then that's going to be more labor-driven. They did have a couple plants go down for some maintenance, but, and we're hoping that'll settle down. But, we're seeing a lot of price increases. And then we're also, obviously with the metal and steel and aluminum tariffs, the metal roofing pricing is going to be going up. So if you're in the market for a metal roof, there's no better time to buy it than right now before those tariffs start to kick in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a challenging time for a lot of people, and you notice these tariffs, how it's playing out. I think ultimately, in the long run, it's going to be better for our economy, and the more that we can onshore, bring some of this manufacturing back. Speaking of that, we do have. I know you work with Ron and his team over at Tri-County Metals, so they manufacture right here in Florida.
Yeah, they're right here in Florida, family-owned, Christian-based company too. Gulf Shield and Tri-County Metals, a lot of our values align, and it's unfortunate we're having to take these price increases right now. But I mean, I think like you said, it's going to be good long term. It's going to be a competitive atmosphere for everybody, not just the imports where they can cheat with their labor prices, but bringing more manufacturing back to the United States.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's interesting too when you look at how the manufacturer. I do have a clip on this. I want to roll some tape here and maybe get your reaction on it. This was a interview with what's the gentleman's name? It'll come to me.
Think that we could bring, maybe using AI, some more advanced manufacturing here that was in China? Is that a real thing the next decade, to do a bunch more of it here thanks to our more efficiencies and productivity?
There's probably always a decent amount of things like that. You have to always be extremely granular on how expensive the robots are, how expensive the equipment is, because in some sense, manufacturing has been getting steadily more automated for 250 years, and you've had the machines that make the machines. The machines that make the machines are getting sort of smarter and more complicated, and there are ways in which AI is a quantum leap. There's a way in which it's just a natural continuation of this two century long process.
Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting look at, and he had an interview that he was conducting here. That's Carl Mehta, and he was talking about how we can utilize how these efficiencies may come, and to be able to onshore some of the jobs to decrease the cost. We've got to bring some of these costs down, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. As the market gets more competitive, that'll happen. As we bring more competitors, back in the United States, we're going to see that innovation. That's you always got to bet on the Americans. You can never bet against the United States. And when we see things like this come up, it's just going to lead to more opportunity and more innovation.
Absolutely. Yep, that's true. And when you think about roofing and the ability to shop local. I mean, that's the point I want to drive home is for our audience to work with the local contractor, the local businesses. And Logan Briggs has been a friend of the program for a long time. Gulf Shield Roofing. What are some of the key elements that just makes you different, Logan, from some of your competitors?
You named it. We're local, right? There's a lot of private equity firms that are they're from Canada, from New York City, from, California, that are trying to come into the Florida market and really try to be more profiteers when they see these hurricanes. So make sure you're using a locally ran operator, right? It's a local license holder. They have a local address. Just for example, Brandon, all the marketing and advertising we do is like, local organizations, local nonprofits. What are they doing inside their community that's really helping it grow, right? We obviously want to build roofs and help folks. That's how we make our living. But as a point of that, are they giving back to the community? And I think that's so important, because you'll see a lot of these companies, these big private equity firms come in and buy roofers. Those big guys out there that we always see on the billboards and TV commercials, those guys aren't local anymore, Yeah. They're ran by organizations outside of Florida. And when you see that happening, are they giving back to their community? Are they even a part of their community? So I would always encourage everybody to be using local suppliers, local contractors, and local manufacturers.
Yeah, and the local real estate market is turning. It's getting better. I think that we went through a little slow point there. You have days on market are up, of course. But here's some of the latest statistics when you look at Pinellas County. Let's just look at Pinellas. This is the latest stats from the Realtor Board. You have 8,200 active listings in Pinellas County. These are non-distressed properties. 1,601 sold. So that's a 19.5% absorption rate and a 5.1 month supply of inventory. So what's interesting is you look at, inventory being at 5.1 months, that is in what we call a balanced market. Anything between 5 months and 7 months is a balanced market. And then if you compare that to March of 22, the second year into the Chinese COVID pandemic, you had only 1,112 properties available. So again, contrast that 1,100 properties with 8,200 active right now. That's a difference of 7,000 more active listings than we had. And that was kind of an irrational exuberance time. But yeah, there's 7 times 7.4 times more actives now than there were in March of 22, Logan.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, we're seeing that a lot in the I mean, that affects the roofing market too, shockingly. You know, we see a lot of, we work and help a lot of realtors and homeowners get to that closing table, which is kind of unique. I mean, we offer some great financing tools, whether that's, pay at closing or, 0% interest options. And that really helps more homeowners be able to get to that closing table with their realtors because, nobody wants to pay $15,000, $20,000 out of pocket for their roof. But they got to get it done. Otherwise, you won't get insurance or you won't be able to get that mortgage. So we're working with a lot of realtors right now, and there's a lot of action, and it's starting to pick up more and more where we're able to really come in and help homeowners not only get an estimate, but also some financing tools, but get the job done. I mean, you're looking about a week to 2 weeks out on all of our lead times. So not only can we come out there and get you a same-day estimate, but we'll build your project relatively soon.
How quickly can you turn a house, say it's a 2,000 square foot, standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath? How quickly can you turn a roof?
Yeah, so we always got to deal with permits, right? We want to do things the right way. We want to make sure the project gets recorded and inspected by the right local municipalities and the right building departments. So as soon as we get that, we're scheduled about a week out from there. And then most of the projects on a 2,000 to 2,500 square foot home, we're going to be able to knock that out in one day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll be able to organize all of our inspections to line up perfectly with our production schedules, and we'll make it a nice, clean, very, very successful and efficient production.
Yeah, I love that. Logan Briggs here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Gulf Shield Roofing. Now, I don't know if you heard the latest, kind of a controversy, I guess, with DeSantis. Ron DeSantis has kind of called out the state legislature because I didn't realize this, but our Florida Highway Patrolmen are the second lowest paid. We're second lowest out of 50 states. We're 49. Check this clip out. Here's a quick clip I wanted to play.
So Governor Ron DeSantis criticized the Florida House of Representatives' proposed budget cuts, targeting 84 Florida Highway Patrol positions and ballistic armor for troopers, stating what's going on right now in Tallahassee with Florida House of Representatives is really treacherous. They all ran on this agenda. They never ran against law enforcement. I'll tell you that because you would have been shown the door by the voters. Dave Kerner, Executive Director of Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, highlighted the low pay issue, saying the reality is this budget will keep Florida Highway Patrol as the second lowest starting pay in the country out of 49 states.
Wow, interesting, right? And if you think about why a lot of people move to Florida, especially from California, New York, New Jersey, some of the other areas, the high crime, the lockdowns are at the top of the list. So if they come to Florida and we continue to pay our law enforcement at the lower tier, how is that going to reflect? How is that going to shake out? And Logan, I know you're of the same mindset as me, and we're pro law enforcement around here. We back the blue, but how does that? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, no, we've done a lot of roofs for a lot of local police officers and highway patrol, and we are always given a discount. It's funny, like I'm surprised to hear that. I really am. How is that going to help them recruit? The best people in the country to come protect us and do a job that so many of us don't want to do because it is so dangerous. And these people deserve to be at the highest end, in my opinion. So. Yep. I hope Governor DeSantis gets his eyes on that and focuses on maybe changing that, because I think that's a tax increase I could get behind. There's not a lot of the other things I could really get behind. But when we're talking about local law enforcement and protecting our communities, I think that's a priority number one.
Absolutely. Logan, final thought, how can people connect with you as well?
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, they can call my cell phone directly, right? I'm the owner and operator. I'm very much involved. Please feel free to call me right on my cell phone at 813-599-0428. You can text that number too. We're on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, also golfshieldroofing.com, where you can do an instant roof estimate in like 30 seconds. You can get 3 awesome, amazing roofing structure estimates for your roof customized to you within seconds. So you don't have to deal with any sales rep. You just get to deal with how much it's going to cost so you can start budgeting for your project.
And give that number one more time.
Yeah, 813-599-0428.
All right, call them directly, 599-0428. Logan Briggs, GulfShieldRoofing.com. That's GULF ShieldRoofing.com. Logan Briggs, thanks for calling in, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brandon.
All right, my pleasure. All right, quick break, right back. Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin coming up next. Then we're going to talk about the all-time high on gold, and it's interesting to see alternative investment opportunities and so much more that he offers over there at his awesome location, Pinellas County location. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin coming up next.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, we're back. Brandon BRimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Always helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing. 10413 Main Street. We got a property in Thonona-Sassa. This is 3.63 acres of vacant land, zone PD. It's a commercial property in the bustling city of Thonona-Sassa. And it's a stone's throw away from the vibrant pulse of Tampa. Easy access, major highways and thoroughfares as well. Positioned to become a cornerstone of the thriving local economy. We do sell a lot of vacant land, and we've got about a dozen or so vacant land parcels. We sell commercial real estate as well as, of course, residential properties. This is a nice one here. Vacant land, 3.63 acres of land at 10413 Main Street, Thonona-Sassa, right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Great opportunity to purchase real estate here in the local market. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, going to Shane Socash here on the phone lines. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. He is the owner. And Shane, how you doing today, sir?
Doing fantastic.
Awesome, man. I can't believe it. Gold's hit another high. Unbelievable.
It, for like a year and a half, it only goes up. It's pretty exciting in our industry. We're seeing some people make a lot of money. I don't know where the ceiling is. Like, if it doubles from here, it's going to be astronomical.
Yeah, that's really awesome, and you can find Shane and his team online, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com, or go in person, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. And Shane, I love to hear some of the stories. You get visitors in there, and sometimes they mention they heard about you here on the Quarterback Show, Consumer Quarterback Show. Have you had any interesting exchanges lately? Because you're buying all types of coins and other silver and gold and metals.
Yeah, so some of the more interesting things we purchase. Right now we're evaluating a paper money lot that's pretty interesting with lots of what's called national banknotes, which is a pretty rare thing, and they are specific to each state or even cities. And so, you could have a national banknote for Cleveland, Ohio, or something like that. So then you got to do some research on, how the collectability is. We've had some St. Petersburg, Florida notes from the early 1900s come through. And you got to see, are there, collectors in St. Pete, Florida for that type of thing, and that will drive the price up. And then how many notes were made. Obviously, there were very few of the St. Pete, Florida ones made, where New York City, conversely, might have a lot of them. So we're doing that. We've done some ancient coins. Lots recently purchased a pretty big ancient coin lot.
It's interesting, too. I remember hearing in the news, I haven't followed up on this, but did President Trump ever go look for the gold at Fort Knox? Or what happened to that story?
I want to know.
I know.
So I don't know the answer to that. I've not heard that anywhere in our industry. So I'm going to guess nothing has happened with that.
Yeah, that was interesting, because I know it's man, how much gold is there, and what is still around, and all that kind of interesting stuff. So, but yeah, it's interesting to think about, because gold is such a pivotal it's such an investment. And you see so many, not only just individuals and companies buying gold. I mean, you've got countries investing in gold. It's an interesting kind of a hedge in a sense.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And, I had some clients in late 2023, early 2024, buy millions of dollars worth of gold for me. One gentleman purchased $5 million total. Another person purchased a total of $2 million. Gold was at $1,800 an ounce. We're $100 away from them doubling their money.
Wow.
And it's just like, I'd like to know what they knew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and so they're not bringing it back, which tells me they feel like there's room in the market to continue going up. So,
wow, yeah, that's interesting to think about. So, outside of precious metals, you're also doing jewelry design, and you've got diamonds as well.
All the normal things you'd find in a family jewelry store or fine jewelry store, we do it all. So we have 6 jewelers, so we make and repair and do everything that you can imagine as far as that goes, as well as appraisals so that you can get your jewelry insured, and then buying estates and that type of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's locally here, we always talk about supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors, and helping the local economy. I think is such a key. Shopping local, working with small companies based right here in Tampa Bay, and David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin is certainly a great example of a local company with a strong, rich tradition. Shane.
Absolutely, and the founder of the company is still here 3 days a week. The guy who had the chutzpah to start his own company in 1971 is still in the store, and we're proud to have him here.
Well, to put a bow on that story, I was doing some research here as we're talking, but it says, but while the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve carry out regular inspections, nobody has apparently sat down and analyzed the contents of the legendary vault for over 70 years, giving rise to one small question of some people are asking with increasing frequency: what if the gold is not actually there? So
exactly,
we'll see. That's interesting. Wow. What if it's not there? Interesting stuff. All right. Well, go say hello to Shane Socash over at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. Physical location is 4009 Central Avenue, and that's in St. Petersburg, beautiful St. Petersburg, Pinellas County, and online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Shane Socash, thanks for calling in, man.
Always a blast. Thanks.
Hey, my pleasure. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Hey, another great show. We did a little insurance update for you. Jason Mears, Florida Best Quote Insurance, had some really good tips there. Preparing your property to sell, preparing to hit the market. Take a look at your, if it's an older property, take a look at those electrical boxes. I was amazed by, some of the names that are just known as, bad boxes. You can't get insurance with them. Logan Briggs, Gulf Shield Roofing. He's our go-to expert for all things roof related. GulfShieldRoofing.com. And of course, Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin. We want you to go out there and make it a great day. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And please commit a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.